The majority of our users are in 18 to 34 age range. They really range from undergrad right through to masters, PhD, and then early career researchers. So it's a real mix. And the tool kind of adapts to those different types of students. So it can be useful for a new undergrad getting to grips with longer texts or complex texts and take some of that anxiety away. But for more advanced students, for PhD students, it can really help in, going back to the point about Phil, in really just reducing the cognitive load and figuring out more easily which papers are going to be most useful to your work and your research. So it's kind of got a range of applications, and we see that reflected really in the audience. So we have a section called comparative analysis, and what that's doing is pulling out all of the sections of the paper where the author's referencing another source and talking about whether they're building on that earlier study or that source, or whether their results gave them some different findings and they're disputing that earlier source. So that's when you're starting to get into the kind of the nuts and bolts of the paper and really think about, your subject, where this paper sits within your subject, who the kind of highly cited authors are in this field, and following that citation trail and maybe looking at more cited papers and understanding how it all fits together. We were just approached by the MD of a company called Assistive Solutions, and they have provided for the last 20 years software and hardware solutions to students in the UK with specific learning differences. It's been almost 2 years now that we've been working with Assistive Solutions, and we've, the subscriptions are really growing hugely. We've had a lot of interaction with those students to understand their specific study-related challenges, how Scholarcy is helping them, but how we can develop the product to help them more. So it wasn't an area that we expected or that we'd maybe planned for, and it's really nice to see a tool that's just really useful to these students. We've kind of broadened our proposition quite a bit now to make Scholarcy more of a learning tool. So it's not just about reading, it's about understanding, it's about applying knowledge to your own work. And we really, our aim, and we're getting there, is to make Scholarcy really just an essential part of any student's toolkit. So alongside a reference manager, you're using Scholarcy either to import the search results and build up your library that way, or you're exporting your flashcards to a reference file that you can then manage within your reference manager. So I think we want it to be, just an integral part of the student's toolkit. And we're seeing that happen. We've got a global audience. Our biggest user base is in the US. We're seeing growth in India and Africa, particularly in terms of the free application. Our subscribers are growing month on month very healthily, so we just want to continue in that direction.